So ESG, right? Environmental, social, governance. Mm-hmm. So important that even this net zero, asset managers initiative, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, they're talking about more than 315 signatories with the U.S. $57 trillion in assets under management. The Net Zero Asset Managers Initiative is an international group of asset managers committed consistent with their fiduciary duty to their clients and beneficiaries to supporting the goal of net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 or sooner, in line with the global efforts to limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius.
Right. And
to supporting investing aligned with net zero emission by 2050 or sooner. Are these guys noble people, or are they full of shit?
Well, to be honest with you, I think many of them are well-meaning but uninformed. In other words, you're not going to – I have the largest legal allowable solar farm in Virginia at my farm because the state caps how big it can be. And when our power went out in a snowstorm, we had no heat. We had nothing. It barely – I mean, this is a joke. You're not going to run a planet with 8 billion people with solar and wind. Now, with these zero-point, quantum vacuum, these sort of technologies that have been confiscated, patents have been confiscated, what we've been talking about, that would get us there very quickly. But so I think their aspirations may be, in fact, noble, but their methodology is fatally flawed because they're not going to get there with any of the schemes that they're planning now. And that's the frustration here. Now, ironically, I was at a meeting in 2013 off the coast of Australia. It was a group of world muckety-mucks. I was asked to give a keynote at this thing. I think it was 120 people flown in on this island. And one of the people there was the head of international, I think it was International Greenpeace director. He was so hostile to what I was saying because I pointed out that the only way we're going to get to these solutions to clean up the oceans and the air and all this is to bring out these technologies. And he wouldn't hear of anything except the orthodoxy of wind and solar. And I said, but, have you actually run the numbers on that? You can't get there from here. With 8 billion people, there's not enough energy density or reliability in wind and solar, plus wind doesn't blow all the time and the sun isn't up all the time. And the battery storage needs are ludicrously huge. We have no ability to do that. So the solutions are going to have to come from the high-tech classified sector. Good news to all your children and mine is that we have the solution. The bad news is a bunch of Nazis, and I use that word like Petro-Nazi, true fascist, ruthless people are keeping it secret. And I'll just put it on the table. And you're not going to get there by wishful thinking and holding hands and singing Kumbaya. You're going to have to do the heavy lift of getting these declassified. Now, here's another solution. I've made an appeal, if there are people of high net worth, to put together a venture capital fund that would be an angel fund to create an open source R&D lab on this kind of electromagnetic and physics. And I think with the information that we have, that probably in a couple of years we would come out without the government declassifying anything, since most of the government doesn't have access, or these big corporations releasing it, we could bring it out. And if you open sourced it in a multi-centered way, streamed it on the internet, the whole lab streamed, the instant you got your eureka moment, everyone who's an engineer or physicist would have the solution. There'd be no patent, there'd be no intellectual property restriction. That's what I've been proposing that we do. And honestly, if you're actually wanting to spend a fraction, a millionth of a percent of what they're going to spend on this scheme, you'd get to this solution probably in a couple of years.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.